Should I tell my dad that I found out he might not be my biological father? Series Part 3. My dad left after DNA results, and then something worse happened. I thought the DNA results were the end of everything. But I was wrong because the moment my dad walked out of the house that night, I realized the real damage was only beginning, and the worst part was I didn't even know where he went. It had been 3 days since the test confirmed David was my biological father. My dad had not spoken to me since he left that night. My mom kept saying he just needed space, but the silence in the house felt permanent, like something had broken beyond repair. I kept replaying everything in my head, wondering if it should have ever opened that folder in the first place. Then David showed up again. This time, I did not ask, he just stood outside my workplace waiting for me. And when I walked out, they said, "We need to talk about your mother because there is something you still don't know." I wanted to walk away, but I did not. Wes sat in his car for almost an hour. And what he told me next made my stomach drop even harder than the DNA results. He said my mom did not just hide my paternity, she built an entire false timeline around my birth. She told both men different Oriesha told my dad I was his biological son without any doubt and told David I was not ready to know him and that I would come looking when I was older. But the worst part was what she did to keep them separated. She moved cities for a short time when I was a baby, changed medical records, and even blocked school contacts that might have revealed inconsistencies. I could barely breathe listening to it. But then he showed me something that changed everything again. A scanned email thread between my mom and a private investigator from years ago, where she explicitly paid to monitor David and make sure he never got close to me or my dad. My hands were shaking because this was no longer about fear or confusion, it was control. That night, it finally confronted my mom directly. At first, she tried to deny it, but when it showed her the email, she stopped talking completely and just sat down like she had been waiting years to be exposed. Then she finally said the truth out loud. She said she did it because she was afraid David would take me away and she did not trust them. But she also admitted something worse, as she said she could not stand the idea of losing the festibility my dad gave her, so she chose silence over honesty every single time. When I told my dad what I learned, he did not explode, he just nodded slowly and said I already knew she was capable of hiding things. I just never thought it would be this. Then he did something I did not expect. He packed a bag and told me he was moving out temporarily, not because he stopped loving me, but because he needed to understand who he was in a family built on lies. The karma started immediately after that. Family members began finding out, relatives took sides, people started asking quests, tie-ins that my mom could no longer control. And David finally stopped waiting in the background and began speaking openly about everything he had been denied for decades. And me, I was stuck in the middle, a tall watching two fathers and one mother unravel the story of my life in real time. Now, is it alone most nights wondering if the truth actually freed me, or if it just destroyed the only version of family I ever knew?